Hi, my name is Kelvin Newman and welcome to the Brighton SEO podcast, where we share talks from one of the world's most popular search and marketing conferences. The event started out as a few people meeting in an upstairs room of a pub and is now attended by over 3,000 people from all over the world. This episode is a recording of one of the speakers at a recent event.
Next up, we've got Gavin, who's going to talk about web governance in multinationals.
Afternoon. Hi, guys. Thanks, Kevin and Gemma and Cecile for some great talks. I'm Gavin Colborne from Little Forest. Really happy to see how many people are involved with multilingual and international. I personally find it one of the greatest reasons to be involved in the internet. It's really exciting, always meeting people from different cultures, and it's part of the reason that I love what we do. So just here to share some lessons today around what we see working with very large companies, some multinationals, and some takeaways from both Gemma and Cecile in terms of what they talked about. So some fun is that almost every company now is becoming a multinational. So even my small company, we work with people in every country, different suppliers and different languages, and it's part of the fun of the internet. So it's great to kind of think about where this is going. But first I want to talk about the challenges of just running a single website, which I think many of you will know, and things we're all familiar with. So it's like, how is my customer experience today in digital? Where are my customers coming from? Is my website performing today? How many people are there? Where have they come from? Is it my advertising that's working, or is it my social media? So there are lots and lots of challenges just in running a single website. And these challenges are felt also by the multinationals, but they are compounded. So they have a dozen websites, or 46 websites, or 100, or in Dell and many multinationals, they have more than 1,000 websites. So all of those challenges, it's just a huge matrix of kind of fun to deal with on a day-to-day basis. I liked what Cecile talked about in terms of the microsites. Many customers have put these up over the last few years, and you see the challenges of them. It's a campaign, it comes up just for the month, but it ends up staying for 3 years and is taking SEO traffic from various places and so forth. So that's a great typical challenge that multinationals have. One of our key customers calls himself the digital funeral director, because his job primarily is every single day he closes down a website. He has thousands and thousands of websites, and he has to just go through and manage and work out, okay, that's cyber squatting, or this is happening over here, that's someone trying to lean on our brand, that's our own team who've created a website and forgotten to close it down, or just that an organization inside his organization will have created, say, the Spanish website, and it will be, they'll have done it on their own without global help, and they'll have done like sp.brandname.com. And it goes live, and suddenly they realize, actually, SP is not Spanish. So there are just a lot of challenges that are specific to multinationals as well. So how big is big? Thousands of websites, dozens of different platforms that run those websites. And what that results in is hundreds of people. So if you've got, say, 50 countries that you're involved in, and you have between 1 and 20 people in each country, you've got a different challenge per country. So you have, some countries have very large budgets, and the business is very established. And some countries maybe just has one person, and she's in charge of all marketing. And so the website to her is just something that it's quite difficult for her to run whilst running all the other channels. So if you're, just one example. One of our brands has hundreds of brands, and they have 25 websites for a single toothpaste brand. And the scale of it is just quite fun. What does the head of a global performance and optimization team do? So this is the person at the center and whose responsibility it is to own the brand globally and make sure that all of the digital presences are reflecting that brand correctly. So their job is really working with all those teams, all those hundreds of people, knowing who to talk to when things are going right, when things are going wrong. And it's an interesting central point. And we've seen a big shift, actually, in our customer bases that it always used to be in the US, the central global team. But over the last 10 years, that is often now moved to Europe or Asia as well. So if you're in a large company, the central global team may actually be somewhere else other than the US. So we're going to spend a couple of minutes defining governance, or what I like to call digital optimization governance, and a nice triple-letter acronym, DOG. We see governance as ensuring digital success. And those are three key areas that we break that into to try and take this large matrix and make it a little bit simpler to focus on things. And three key areas we feel all sites need are: you need to have great content. So particularly what Gemma was saying in terms of just international and not multilingual, there are so many areas in content. You need to have a really strong support in your community and look after them. And also you need some sort of business reason in terms of commerce, whether that website makes money directly through e-commerce, or if it's lead generations, or if it just is supporting your brand, but it needs to have a commercial angle, pretty much, if it's a business website. Oops. How much is one quality improvement worth to your business? This is what governance is really trying to ensure, because just a single quality improvement can be a huge difference. And how is governance relevant to SEO? Why everyone's talking about SEO today? Governance, I think you can see, is either the underneath of SEO with many, many different types of other optimizations, such as social media optimization, technical optimization, email marketing optimization, or you can see it as an umbrella. Either way, governance is really working with optimization, all sorts. So SEO is a hugely important part of all our customers' governance. And so, well, what are the things that SEOs govern? I think in this building today, you'll hear lots and lots of great things that need to be kind of measured and governed, and very, very detailed items. I just picked a few that typically our clients look at. Keyword rankings are hugely important, obviously, to drive traffic. And also your partner referral links, getting good quality, your partner network across the web and across all of these dozens or hundreds of websites. And then you've got nice KPIs from companies like Majestic and Moz in terms of domain authority and trust authority. So it's kind of what SEOs look at. But let's look at a few other roles. So if we broaden out the digital team beyond SEO, and let's say a content person, just what Gemma was saying there in terms of all the fine-grained detail you need to understand in terms of content governance. And that is really items like quality, which is kind of on-page SEO. Spelling, huge issue. Grammar. And readability is a really fun and interesting one now. And this is relevant across all languages. There are lots of great scores now that you can create for measuring the readability of a web page and seeing how understandable is my content for my target audience. And sentiment is always one that is important in content for brands. What about social media? Followers, fans, retweets, engagements. How are what we're putting out on social media, is it relevant for our audience? And really that is the kind of governance or the key performance indicators. Also, how much traffic is social bringing? Which particular social is the most important for our traffic? So where are we seeing the most success? So email marketing, a hugely converting channel for everyone, I think. What do we look at there? Things like the sheer number of emails sent, the unsubscribe rate, the open rates, the click-through rates, the conversion rates. And what about e-commerce? So here, primarily revenue, but it's also what's the profit? What are our costs? What targets do we have per product line, per business unit? And also, there are lots of challenges in terms of refunds, I think, in e-commerce. And so governance around these areas to make sure that the final figures are correct. And also with e-commerce, it's a lot of month-on-month, week-on-week to make sure that the site is performing at a revenue perspective. What about DevOps or systems administration, the technical people? Well, it's typically, is my platform working for my users? Is it 100% available? Is it performing correctly? Is the code quality really high so that I don't have errors which are affecting my customer experience? And if I have a lot of people coming to my website today, and I need to scale up my infrastructure, can I also scale it down when there aren't so many people very easily to reduce the cost and maintenance? So these are the kind of things a DevOps or a technical person does. What we're seeing in the last couple of years, a really interesting area for me is data quality governance. So everyone is using loads of analytics, and analytics is now becoming what's driving business decisions. So we need to make sure that the data that's in the analytics is correct. Otherwise, we may make the wrong business decision. And so the areas you look at in governance in terms of sort of tag management and that are, do I have the right tags on the pages? And I've got thousands and thousands of pages and maybe a dozen tags. Also, the right version of the tag, is that on the right page? And if that tag is measuring something like add to cart, is that event actually firing on that page as it should, so that I can measure how many customers have added that product to the cart? Because we see this area as very challenging right now for a lot of places. Also, key is data security. So if you've got third-party tags, you need to make sure they're not leaking data accidentally or unknowingly to you about your audience. So a site owner, what does she govern? Well, she's got to govern all the things above, everything we just talked about, all those roles. They're all helping her to manage that site or those sites. And often the sort of head of digital optimization or governance will work with them as well. So there's at least sort of 3 layers going on here. So there's a lot of KPIs, performance indicators, a lot of things we need to measure. She needs to worry about all of them, but also the brand key and things like domain names, when expiry. What regulations have we got coming up that I need to be concerned with to make sure our business is good digitally? So what do I think is our secret to helping multinationals? And how can we make governance fun? Well, I think it's to create a game of it, and this is what we've been doing. So why create a game? It helps to motivate people. When people are engaged, they find that they're learning, and this is improving the customer experience by improving the quality, and it's also helping the business. So it's very much a win-win situation. So what we do to create a game is we'll create a single success score for a website, and that'll be made of lots of different criterias. And there are so many great examples across the industry in terms of best practice. So whether it's a Google page speed score for a technical performance, or if your customers give you feedback, so your NPS score, your Net Promoter Score. There's a really good one, a new one to me, is the Analytics Quality Score. So Google Analytics are now telling you what they thought the session quality was like for each session. So great indicators of success in individual areas. What we've found works really well is to tie many of these together, whichever ones are relevant, and to create a single score. The reason that's helpful for a multinational is if you've got dozens, hundreds, thousands of websites, having a single benchmark to measure and group them by really helps you to understand where to focus and perhaps what's changed today. If my score's improved, why has it improved? What area has it improved in? So there's sort of all the various digital areas. There's so many things that we can tie into a single score. How does that work? Really, that is entirely up to the individual business. Often you need to create different scores because a blog has very different indicators of success to a shop. Has very different indicators of success to a brand, a corporate website. We also give awards as part of the game. So the awards are recognition to people working in the larger digital team. And it's important, I think, with the awards to do things like not just focus on who's kind of won the big figure, or it's really about percentage growth and trying to encourage and show and recognize that actually the team in Mexico have really improved their organic traffic over the last month. In fact, they've improved it more than anyone else globally. So they should be recognized as, here you've done a great job, and it's fun. It creates a lot of activity and interest across your digital team. So how do we get data really from all the great products that are in this conference today, Deepcrawl, Moz, SEMrush, anywhere. Most of our customers have so much data, and it's great to have all this granularity, maybe from social, etc. And so what are the outcomes of turning a digital job effectively into a game? And we see the outcomes are that actually the people who play are learning, they're improving their customer experience, they're improving the quality of their marketing and the quality of the site, and they're also looking great to their management. They're showing their management, giving them a way to understand the complexity of what their job involves, because it's very difficult often for management to understand digital. So having a score that they can track really helps. But this is only good if you can get people to play. So how do you get people to play a game in a big organization or any organization in digital? And there's so much great methodology here in terms of how to get people to engage more with products and websites and apps that we lean on these kind of methodologies. So it comes down to 4 key areas. One is you need a trigger. So we'll send an email every few days with all the latest scores and ranks and trends of who's done well in the game. And that trigger really should create an action within the player, and that player is to hopefully fix an issue, move the quality score up a little bit. So that might be reaching out to more partners, getting more backlinks, just some area to improve their score. And really, when they do that, we need to reward them as part of the game. We need to improve the score or give them an award or something. And if we do that, then hopefully they will also create more of an investment to bring them back through creating the habit of playing the game. So what have we seen works to make the game work inside a large company? Lots and lots of training is required. Typically, people want to know that if they're being measured in this way, I want to know everything about how I can affect that score of mine, because I'm just responsible for email. How do I make the email score as good as I can? How do I make it as good as the people in Australia? So we do lots and lots of webinars and screen shares inside the organizations, and we find areas of people who are excelling, and we encourage them to really share what they've learned with the rest of their peers and colleagues. And this is great because it connects people. So really, that's the thing for me, is that now trying to turn governance into something fun, into gamifying it. So we're redefining digital optimization governance as digital optimization gamification. So if you're working in a large digital team somewhere, ask yourself these questions. Are we learning together? Are we working as best we can together? And are we having fun in how we work? Get in touch with me at some time. It'd be great to find out more about what you've done. These are 3 books that I've learned a lot from and have really helped with our experiences with multinationals and creating a game out of everything. Thanks very much.
This was originally recorded at a Brighton SEO conference. If you want to listen to more episodes or find out about the conference itself, you can do at brightonseo.com.